Hello everyone, Laura Talks is back. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and press the bell button. So I have Tomo with me today again, and today's topic is academic peer pressure. So I kind of straight away will jump in and ask Tomo's question because she is in a top set in most of the subjects, and she's in year 9, which she's quite driven because she will need to pick different subjects for her GCSEs and what she wants to do for her future. So learning is very important in that stage. So what kind of pressure do you feel in school?
I think I mostly feel academic pressure by my fellow pupils and by teachers as well in the school, because I think you kind of, it's hard when you're in top set and you feel like everybody else is so much smarter than you when everybody is dealing with their own, their own challenges academically and they don't want to speak up about it. And I think everybody feels the same thing, but we don't want to talk to each other about it because we don't know what everybody else thinks.
Well, would you think if you would address that and would speak up, would the things be easier to deal with then?
Maybe, because I don't think teachers would really, not that they wouldn't care, but they wouldn't change anything because, a teacher's a teacher. You might change, if you're doing, like, for example, I don't know, you're learning like one-to-one, then they'll change accordingly to you. But when it's a class full of people, everybody struggles with different things and teachers can't really, change so that everybody is kind of, taught well, because I think that's hard for teachers, but it's also hard for us because then we feel like we need to catch up, and if we don't understand anything, then it's kind of almost embarrassing to ask for help from someone because you don't know, if somebody's going to laugh at you and say, how do you not understand that? Or if they're going to say, well, I don't understand it either and I don't know how to ask for help. So I think you kind of need to, be confident, and if you don't understand something, then yeah, you don't have to ask your teacher. You can ask, your friends, or you can go home and you can ask your parents, or, if you have somebody else to ask, I think you need to.
How do you face these difficulties yourself then? Okay, so let's say maths was a tricky topic, you didn't get it, anything at all, what would you do?
First of all, I don't like asking for help because I feel almost embarrassed that, the teacher's going to be like, this is really easy, you should understand it, you don't, why don't you understand it? And I think that kind of makes me sometimes feel like I don't deserve to be in set 1 because I don't understand certain things, which it is hard. But then what I do instead is I either ask my friends, but if I can see that they will understand it, I try not to, because then, I don't want them to think of me badly as well. So I go home, I ask my parents, I go on the internet, I see if I can find a solution. And most of the time I do, but sometimes when I don't, then I do ask my friends, and then I do ask teachers, just because it's better to know everything, even if you have to keep constantly asking questions. It's better to know everything than it is to not know anything at all.
So to be honest, what I understood from now, so actually even your friends probably feel exactly the same. Like your friends probably think that you are smarter than them and they're in exactly the same boat, and you have exactly the same kind of pressure thinking that someone else is better, and so but you're in a top set, so you're fine, and it's fine to struggle, and it's fine not to understand things, and you're learning from your mistakes. But it kind of feels like being in a top set, you're not allowed to do a mistake. Does that feel like that?
I think being in top set, teachers always put pressure on you as well, saying, oh, there's no time for mistakes, you need to learn everything because you're top set, we're going at a fast pace. But I don't think that's good on, ourselves mentally, because it's great to make mistakes, and I think I don't like making mistakes whatsoever in any subjects, because whenever I do make mistakes, I just kind of feel like, oh, but I knew this, so why didn't I, write that, or why didn't I say this? And I think it's good to make mistakes, but you need to kind of understand that, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to make mistakes.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and summarize everything and kind of maybe give a bit of an insight for the teenagers there. So being with a top set is going to be stressful. But what I usually say to everyone, making mistakes is fine because we're learning from them. And there's no point regretting them, because that's what makes you stronger. That's what builds your character, that way it builds your personality and builds you stronger, makes you stronger as a person. So you're going to have a backbone. So if at school you were told you can't make mistakes, this is not true. You can, because that's what life, everybody makes. Your teacher who teaches you in the top set has made many mistakes throughout the lessons that she taught you. And we all do. I do mistakes. Even in that video, I've probably done several mistakes, and I was talking, I made a grammar mistake, I made some. We all do. Doesn't matter how perfect we are. And I think if we will understand that, the journey in learning is going to be much easier. And just embracing and enjoy the challenge. Look at the learning as a challenge. Take that as a challenge, and if you don't know, find out, ask, because by asking you learn. And who cares if your friends understood? You maybe had not a good day and you just didn't understand. So maybe you need that extra question, and just go jump in and ask. Because by asking as many questions as you can, your learning and knowledge broadens. Search as well on internet, look at the books, talk to the parents, and just love yourself and know you're in the top set, so you're already smart. Yeah, and see you next time.